What's good with the fight fans? It's your boy Kijana back with some fight predictions this week. UFC 243, Melbourne, Australia, Marvel Stadium. It's gonna be a great main event, and there's also some really other good fights on the card. But the main thing I'm looking forward to is the main event, which everyone's looking forward to. Whittaker versus Adesanya. It's gonna be fucking. Oh man, I kind of want it to go 5 rounds, but then again, I don't really feel like it's gonna go 5 rounds. I feel like if anything, it'll go 2 or 3 rounds. Something's gonna happen. Something crazy is gonna happen. I've really been looking forward to this fight for a while. I'm a fan of both fighters. Robert Whittaker is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, and probably one of my favorite fighters, honestly, MMA wise, of all time. So yeah, but I'm gonna go straight into. There's only 11 fights on this card. The Holly Holm fight got canceled because she had an injury. Holly Holm versus, I think, Raquel Pennington. So yeah, that fight's out of it. So there's only 11 fights. There's big chances to win some serious cash on this card. And yeah, early prelims. Khalid Taha versus Bruno Silva. Khalid Taha fighting out of Germany. Bruno fighting out of Brazil. Khalid Taha, 13-2 record. The Warrior, 9 KO/TKO victories, 2 sub wins, 1 sub loss, and 1 decision loss. This guy's a durable fucking fighter, man. He beat Boston Salmon in his last fight, which I picked Boston Salmon to win just because his striking is so. The striking from his previous fights was very, very crisp and just looked fluid. But yeah, he got caught and he got TKO'd in the first round last fight. But it was a great performance. This guy Khalid is a powerful striker. I underestimated him. Very good combos. He does throw wild at times and tends to leave his chin out there to be hit. But I mean, this dude's a ruthless fucking finisher. He's got pretty good ground and pound as well. His top control is good. He's heavy on top. But the things that you're gonna have to look out for this one is his uppercuts and his hooks, dude. His uppercuts are fucking lethal. And his elbows are pretty fucking nasty as well on the ground. And his wrestling defense is good. This guy pretty much has, I would say he has the full package, and he has a lot of potential to be good in the UFC. But he's fighting a dude, Bruno Silva, Bulldog. 10-3 record, 3 KO/TKO wins, 3 sub wins, 1 TKO and 1 sub, and 1 decision loss. So he's lost in every category. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He's making his debut. This dude he throws bombs, but he has a wild boxing style, or a brawling type of style, actually. Like, it doesn't really seem like he has a game plan. It just seems like he comes in and just bangs. Looping overhands, he does gas out in some of his fights that I've watched. And his clinch work is pretty decent with his elbows and knees. This is going to be an interesting fight, but I'm going to roll with Khalid Taha on this one and get the job done. I think he'll get a decision victory. Both these guys are pretty durable, so I mean, I can see someone getting knocked out or TKO'd, but I definitely see this probably going the distance and Khalid getting the decision victory. Next fight, Nadia Kassem versus Ji Yin Kim. I think that's how you say her name. Nadia Kassem fighting out of Australia, 5-1 record, nickname 187. 4 TKOs, 1 decision win, 1 sub loss. Her last fight versus Montana De La Rosa, she didn't really get a chance to show much. I thought she would have did better. I picked her to win that fight as well, and she lost. So, yeah, she lost by armbar in the 2nd round in February. She doesn't have the best wrestling defense. Not very active off of her back at all. Decent striking. Nothing spectacular about this chick, though. Yeah, she's active on her feet. She throws a decent amount of strikes when she is standing up. Throws pretty good body kicks and leg kicks. She has a kickboxing background. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about this chick. I mean, I watched some of her highlights. I wasn't really impressed with any of the wins that she's had, honestly, even though she has had 4 TKOs /KO wins. Just wasn't. I watched about 3 or 4 of her fights, and I just got bored. So, I mean, Ji Yin Kim, Fire Fist, 8-2 record, 1 TKO, 3 sub wins. She has 2 decision losses. Lost to Shevchenko in her last fight in 2018 by decision. She has pretty good ground game, average striking. She's a very flat-footed fighter. She doesn't really know how to cut the ring off the best. But she does have nice counter strikes. She does try to pressure her opponents, though. She's always looking to finish her opponents, and she's always walking them down. So, I mean, yeah, her striking performance against Lucy Podolova, she lost that fight, but she did have a pretty good striking performance versus Podolova, and kept Podolova on her back foot a lot of the fight. I mean, it was really back and forth. I mean, it could have went to Ji Yin, but I mean, it didn't. Podolova just outstriked her on that one, and she has really good left high kicks. Her left high kicks tend to catch people a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with probably Nadia Kassem. I'm making this pick right now. I haven't even really decided who I wanted to pick in this one yet, but I'm gonna roll with Nadia Kassem just because she's not from Australia, and I feel like she will have if it goes to decision, she's gonna have the edge on people. But I mean, fuck, dude. Lately, people in their own hometown, their own home countries, they've been losing like crazy decisions that they should have actually went to them. Just like the Mexico card, like I don't know, man. It's the judging's really weird right now. And Ji Yin's fighting out of South Korea, so I don't really know, but I feel like Nadia Kassem probably will. It's gonna be a close fight no matter what. They're both gonna get a lot of strikes. It's a pick'em fight. I'm rolling with Nadia Kassem, but Ji Yin is, I think she's taller than her opponent, and I think she has a 6-inch reach advantage. So I mean, that's gonna be a big factor for this fight. And she's tough too. I kind of want to roll with Ji Yin Kim. Yeah, I'm gonna take that pick back. I'm not gonna pick Nadia Kassem. She is fighting in her home country, but I just wasn't impressed with this chick. I'm not super impressed with Kim either, but I feel like she could get the job done. She's got the reach advantage, and she's a striker, so, and she has really good submission skills. And we've seen that Nadia Kassem lost by an armbar in her last performance, pretty easily as well. So I mean, if Kim doesn't do good on the feet and decides she wants to take Kassem down, Kassem doesn't have the best wrestling defense. So yeah, I feel like that Kim will win this fight. So I'm gonna roll with her on that one. I took some more notes, even though a good majority of these fighters I already know about. I just wanted to refresh myself on some of them. Next fight, Jamie Mullarkey versus Brad Riddle. Both these guys are making their debuts. Jamie's fighting out of Australia, and Brad's fighting out of New Zealand. This is gonna be a a crazy fight. 12-2 record for Jamie Mullarkey. 4 KO/TKOs, 3 sub wins, 2 KO/2 KO losses. He's making his debut, like I said. Trains with Alexander Volkanovski. This is funny because he trains with him, but he's also been knocked out by Volkanovski. So, I mean, he used to fight in bigger weight classes. He's cutting to lightweight. He's cutting to a lower weight class for this fight. So that'll be interesting to see if his cardio will be different. It's gonna play a factor in this fight for him. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, both knockout losses. He's a really fast starter. Hits hard, good top control on the ground, very crisp counter striking. This guy's he has really fast hands too, man. Like he punches quick. He has really nice jabs, nice hooks, pretty nice uppercuts as well. Doesn't throw enough kicks though. He's very one-dimensional on the feet. I didn't see in any of his fights that him really like throwing a lot of leg kicks or body kicks or even head kicks or some T kicks or push kicks. Like he needs to incorporate some more types of strikes if he's gonna be a pure striker, if that's what he's going for. But I mean, he has 3 sub wins too. He has a little bit of ground game, and like I said, he has really good top control. But yeah, this guy's he's decent. He's a decent fighter. He's a decent up-and-coming fighter. He's fighting a dude, Brad Riddle, aka Quake. 5-1 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 1 decision, 1 sub loss. Yeah, nasty clinch work. That's all you got to know about this guy. He trains out of Tiger Muay Thai. He's got a Muay Thai background in fighting, and he's a vicious striker, man. 45-6 record in K1. This guy puts people to sleep. He hits very hard. Yeah, he's making his UFC debut just like Jamie. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He did lose to Abel Brites by armbar in 2018. Lethal overhand right, though. His overhand right catches people all the time. He times it perfectly in his fights. His counter striking and body work is on point. Only thing I'm worried about is his ground game. I haven't seen much of his ground game in any of his fights. So I mean, it'll be interesting because Jamie could take him down and submit him. This dude's very explosive and very athletic, though. Yeah, his fight against Yi Long, the Shaolin monk. You got if you guys want to check out a crazy fucking fight, look up that shit. Brad Riddle versus Yi Long. This monk was just taking shots. Like he literally let this dude Brad he let Brad hit him as many times as he wanted. for a good minute, dude, like 30 seconds to a minute, and he was hitting him with everything he got, and the monk was not going to sleep. The dude just was not going to sleep. It was fucking crazy, like the type of willpower like these monks and just some of these martial artists have. It's insane, dude. Like to tell your brain and to tell your body like, okay, I'm getting hit with these strikes, but I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm not getting knocked out. And that shit fucking, like, he must have trained his mind in a different type of way, because the dude was eating bombs, just letting him hit him. He was just letting him hit him. And he was walking into him, like, putting his head into the fucking strikes. It was crazy, dude. Check that fight out. Yi Long, the Shaolin monk. That shit was insane. But yeah, Brad Riddle, man, he's no joke. Neither is Jamie Mullarkey. Both these guys are good. I feel like Brad Riddle's, I'm going back and forth on this fight as well, but I do feel like Brad Riddle's striking is going to be way better than Jamie Mullarkey's. I think that 45-6 record in the K1 kickboxing and shit is going to be his kickboxing background in Muay Thai. It's going to be too much for Jamie. I'm rolling with Brad Riddle to get the TKO victory. And I feel like he can also stop Jamie Mullarkey's takedowns. Okay, we're going into the prelims. Megan Anderson fighting out of Australia, 9-4 record. She is fighting. Who's she fighting again? Zara Ferran dos Santos. And she's fighting out of France. But Megan Anderson, like I said, 9-4 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 2 sub wins, 2 sub losses, 2 decision losses. This chick's a vicious striker, man. She's tall, she's rangy, she has long limbs, she has a killer be killed mentality. She pressures her opponents, walks them down. She hits fucking hard. Very crisp striking, dude. Especially for the female division. Like a lot of these chicks, they tend to like, and she puts everything into her strikes, dude. She puts everything into her strikes. A lot of these chicks, they do this pitter patter shit. Where it doesn't, or maybe that's just all the strength they can get out of their strikes. Some of these chicks will lay out dudes, and she's one of them. She could knock some dudes out for sure. Just like Amanda Nunes, she could knock a lot of guys out. But I'm just saying that her striking is nice, man. Her kicks are nice. Head kicks and body kicks are key. Not the best with her takedown defense, dude. Surprisingly, for being 6 foot, dude, like you would think that her takedown defense would, because if a taller opponent, it's harder to take them down. They can sprawl out a little better. But I mean, yeah, you think her wrestling defense was better. Hopefully she's been working on that. She's not good off of her back or on the ground whatsoever. Her submission defense is just not there. I don't know if she's been training or training that area more, or if she's if she's fixed those holes in her game. I really hopefully she has. She did lose to Felicia Spencer in her last fight, and Spencer was coming in, I think, on like 2 weeks notice. But Spencer, man, we seen what she gave Cyborg a run for her money too, so she's no joke. I picked Megan Anderson to beat Felicia Spencer. I thought, and she did rock Felicia in the beginning of the round, but it's just she couldn't stop the takedown. And if somebody's relentless with the takedown, Megan Anderson is kind of fucked, because her ground game is just not there, man. It's just not there. She got choked in the first round, rear naked choke. If this Zara Ferran dos Santos chick has any type of ground game, it's going to be a very big problem for Megan Anderson, honestly, unless she's been training with with submission specialists and a lot of ground shit. But yeah, she's fighting this girl, Dos Santos, 4 KO/TKOs, 2 decision wins, 2 decision losses. She's durable on a 3-fight win streak. She's a pure striker though. So this is basically like a heaven matchup for Megan Anderson. This is the best matchup she possibly could have got, because if she gets a ground opponent, she just can't do it. She just can't do it. And I think that in the future, she's going to be better on the ground and with her submission defense and with her submissions in general. But I mean, just right now, she just hasn't proved to people that and she's only had 3 fights in the UFC, and really she's only had 2, because one of them ended within 30 seconds of the first round. Was it Kat Zingano with the toenail in her eye? But this chick's making her debut. She's 5'10". She's a very tall fighter for the division as well. She's rangy too. She throws very wild. She has a wild striking style in general. Always pressures her opponents, but she has a brawling style too. She throws really good knees. Her knees are fucking, when she gets you in the clinch or when she gets you tied up against the cage inside, she throws really nasty knees, and she can knock you out with those. But she's probably not going to catch Megan with those, because the height advantage Megan has. And this is the tallest opponent she's ever fought. This chick, Zara, always fights shorter opponents, and just like Megan, she always fights shorter opponents. It's going to be interesting, 5'10" versus 6 foot. I can't roll with Megan Anderson, man. She's lost twice for me. She did pull out the win for the Kat Zingano fight, but that was like, it was a weird fight. Should have just been rolled a no contest, honestly, but they didn't roll it that way. I'm rolling with Zara. I'm gonna roll with Zara, the underdog. I feel like she could get the job done on the feet. People are gonna be thinking I'm crazy for picking her over Megan Anderson, but Megan Anderson is just, she's too new to the game, man. She's too new to the game. She has a lot of growing to do in the UFC, but she could be great. She honestly could be great. I'm a fan of her. I just don't feel like I can't put my I can't pick her, dude. I just can't pick her, dude. She's lost me money in the past. So yeah, next fight, Kaylin Potter versus Maki Pitola. Kaylin Potter fighting out of Australia, aka the Rockstar, 17-8 record, 6 KO/TKOs, 10 sub wins. Dude, he has a lot of submission wins. 4 KO/TKO losses. He has a lot of fucking knockout losses, which is bad. 4 sub losses. He's 35 years of age, man. He's getting up there. He's not a power striker. He doesn't, I mean, he can knock you out, but he's just not a power striker. He has a quick overhand right, very tricky submission game. He's won by multiple types of submissions, but he's not the best with his ground control. So he might be able to get you to the ground, but I don't know if he can keep you to the ground for a long period of time, or submit you fast. He's average takedowns. His last fight versus Jalen Turner was very quick, and he got knocked out in the first round. Like, it was pretty vicious too. So yeah, I mean, Kaylin Potter's an average fighter. He's old. I don't think he's gonna be in the UFC much longer. And then he's fighting Maki Pitolo. They call him coconut bombs because he throws hammers, man. He throws these bombs. He throws them coconuts, you know. 11-4 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 3 sub wins, 2 KO/TKO losses, 2 sub losses. He's on a 3-fight win streak. All finishes. He's a very aggressive fighter. He's fighting out of Oahu. I think that's how you say it. Oahu, Hawaii. I'll just say that. But yeah, he pressures all of his opponents. Hits very hard, but he does overextend on a lot of his punches. Most of his punches, if he doesn't connect with you, he's overextending, and he leaves openings for him to get knocked out or get clipped with something. And he has been slept for that in the past. What was it? CJ Marsh countered him and gave him his first KO loss. It was quick too. I think it was within like 10 seconds or some shit like that. I want to say it was an uppercut too. He came in aggressive. They touched gloves. He threw I think he threw a counter right or something. Or nah, he threw a jab and then threw a fucking a right hand and got clipped coming in. Dude threw an uppercut. CJ Marsh threw an uppercut and put him to sleep. And that was all she wrote, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Maki Pitolo on this one. Kaylin Potter definitely could submit this guy. This other dude doesn't have as much fight experience as Kaylin Potter, but I just can't roll with Potter. He's old, and he doesn't impress me. So yeah, next fight, Yorgan De Castro versus Justin Tafa. This guy's fighting out of Cape Verde, Africa. Yorgan De Castro. He's a 5-0 record, 4 KO/TKO. Wins, 1 decision win, 2 losses in amateur fights, but he has no losses in his pro fights. So yeah, 1 TKO, 1 decision loss in his amateur fights. He starts very fast, and he brings the heat, man. He throws bombs. This dude should be named. His nickname should be Coconut Bombs, because this motherfucker throws bombs. Has really good stand-up defense. Does tend to gas out, and he ducks his head a lot. And the opponent that he's fighting, what's his name again? Justin Tafa. This guy throws vicious fucking uppercuts, dude. He catches on all of his fights. He's I think it was 3 fights that he's had so far professionally, and all 3 of them that I watched, he catches people with that uppercut and he fucks them up. So I mean, if this dude's ducking his head like that, it's gonna be a quick night for. It's gonna be a quick night. But this guy did look good on the Contender Series. He has really nice leg kicks. His calf kicks are really good. So yeah, Justin Tafa, aka Bad Man, fighting out of Australia, hometown. 3-0, 3 TKO wins. He fights once a year, so he's not very active. throws with bad intentions, though, like I said, and his uppercuts, dude, if he catches you with an uppercut, you're going to sleep. This dude, he reminds me a lot of fucking Mark Hunt, man. He's the next Mark Hunt type of fighter. Very aggressive, very hittable though, and very flat-footed. This motherfucker, he's very flat-footed. But these flat-footed fighters, they tend to really like throw into their shit, dude. They tend to have that knockout power. Like, they might not be bouncy and moving all in the ring and doing all this flashy movement, but if they hit you with something, you're going to sleep. Very one-dimensional. Ground game is questionable, and his cardio is questionable. This is the heavyweight division. I do feel like his opponent's gonna have more cardio than him. I feel like Justin Tafa will definitely gas out in the first round. I feel like De Castro will have the cardio advantage, and I'm gonna roll with De Castro to get the dub. I do feel like he could get caught with an uppercut in this fight, and it could go either way. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna pick this fight, this is a really good fight to pick in general because it's heavyweights. And it's new up and coming heavyweights. It's kind of like this amateur type of pro, like they're making their fucking UFC debuts, and they're still both very green. So, and in the heavyweight division, when you're green, there's a lot of mistakes you can make, and you can get knocked out with something simple. It's simple as a jab. Heavyweights hit hard, man. So it's like, this is a key fight to pick, especially on DraftKings. It's a key fight to pick. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Yorgan De Castro. But in some of my lineups, I usually do about 10 lineups, 5 to 10 lineups. I'll probably switch these guys out of a few, and then I'll probably switch them out and keep them out of a few as well. But yeah, that's a key fight. I feel like someone's gonna get knocked out. Next fight, Jake Matthews versus Rustam Akman. The Celtic Kid, 14-4 record. I think, yeah, Jake Matthews is fighting out of Australia too. 14-4 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 7 sub wins, 1 KO/TKO loss, 2 sub losses. He's only lost to really good opponents, man. Jake Matthews always comes up short against really, really good opponents, such as Tony Martin. He lost his last fight by sub. Kevin Lee TKO'd him in the first round, and then James Vick guillotine choked him. And those are all top-notch opponents, man. I mean, I wouldn't put James Vick in that category. James Vick just doesn't have chin, but he's a decent fighter. But yeah, Jake Matthews is well-rounded. He's got average striking, decent submission game, aggressive a lot of times, and sometimes he has to pay the consequences for being overly aggressive. But he doesn't have the best submission defense, and we've seen that in the Tony Martin fight. He tried to fight it off for a little bit, and he just couldn't. Tony Martin was the better fighter that night. He's fighting Rustam Akman, 6-1 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 1 sub win, 1 decision loss. His only loss is by decision. This guy's durable, and he's a finisher. All of his fights have been finishes. He lost his debut to Sergey Khandozuk. I think that's how you say his name. Very good trips and takedowns. Yeah, he pressures his opponents. He does. He's very good with his chain wrestling as well. Throws lots of volume, nice looping hooks, good knees. His knees are nice, and nice top control. But he does gas in some of his fights as well. I mean, he gasses usually in the second round. I noticed if it even goes that far. But he does gas in some of his fights. He's definitely hittable, and this is another flat-footed fighter. But if he gets you to the ground, his top control is pretty decent. Jake Matthews could definitely have a problem with that, but I feel like they gave this fight to Jake Matthews on purpose just to get him a win in his home country. So I'm rolling with Jake Matthews on this one. I feel like Jake will be the bigger fighter and just more experienced fighter in this one, and he should get the win in this one. So I'm rolling with Jake. Next fight, Luke Jamu versus Diego Lima, New Zealand versus Brazil. They call him the Jedi. He's very tricky. 13-4 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 4 sub wins, 2 sub losses. Coming off of a win to Daichi Abe. This dude's a lethal striker. Hits hard, walks opponents down. Overhand right is probably his overhand right's probably his best weapon in this in all of his fights so far that I've seen. Really, really good submission game though. Last loss to Jake Matthews, or no, that wasn't his last. I don't know if that was his last loss, but he did lose to Jake Matthews and Li Jing by guillotine and rear naked choke. So those are his. That's his kryptonite, is the guillotine and rear naked choke, and they're similar type of chokes as well. So I mean, yeah, Diego Lima could definitely. He could submit him. He has 4 submission wins. He's a 14-7 record, so it's a 2-1 ratio. That's not the best, especially in the UFC. 4 KO/TKO wins. He has lost 4 times by TKO and once by sub. He's on a 2-fight winning streak though, but his chin is just not there. Diego Lima, I could never pick Diego Lima, dude. I picked the last 2 fights that he's had. I picked against Diego Lima, but he does have nice clinch work, really good kicks. He throws a lot of kicks in his fights. But I just can't trust his chin, man. He stands straight up and he gets hit, and it'll be a wrap for him if he gets hit by this dude Lou Jammu. But he hits hard as well. So I mean, it's an interesting fight. I'm rolling with Lou Jammu. I'm rolling with him because he's in New Zealand, and I just feel like he's the better fighter. They have about the same amount of fight experience, almost. But yeah, this dude's just Diego Lima's just way too inconsistent, and if he gets hit, he's gonna go to sleep. So I can't trust that chin. All right, we're on to the main main card. Tai Tuivasa versus Sergey Spivak. Tai Tuivasa fighting out of Australia. Sergey's fighting out of Moldova. They call Tai Bam Bam because he fucking hits hard, man. This motherfucker's ruthless. 8-2 record, 7 KO/TKO wins. And 1 TKO/decision loss, and his TKO loss was to Junior Dos Santos, so that's nothing to hang your hat about. Dos Santos has been around the block. And yeah, I mean, Bam Bam, this guy's legit. He's legit. Very one-dimensional though. Another Mark Hunt type of fighter. Doesn't have no ground game. If he gets put on the ground, he's probably gonna be fucked, and he's probably not gonna be able to get back up. And he doesn't have the best cardio. He gasses out usually in the second round, towards the end of the second round. But I mean, if it even lasts that long, this guy fucking throws. This dude throws haymakers, dude. He throws haymakers. If he catches you with something, you're gonna go night-night. You're going night-night. Doesn't matter like who you are. Doesn't matter how much chin you have. That monk that dude fought, if he was in the heavyweight division, he would have been slept by Tai Tuivasa. Tai Tuivasa hits with it. He has that Samoan, that fucking Hawaiian, just that power behind his punches. And if he hits you with that shit, you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep. So, I mean, Sergey, good luck, bro. The Polar Bear, 9-1 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 5 sub wins. That's the thing you got to worry about is his sub wins. But is Sergey going to be the type of fighter that's going to try to play into Ty's game and get lured into a brawl? I think he is. I think he's going to get lured into a brawl. He has 1 KO loss. He lost his UFC debut by Walt Harris, and it ended very quickly. Walt Harris made easy work of him, and I feel like Tai Tuivasa is going to make easy work of him. His submission game is very tricky, average striking, no defense standing up. His defense standing up is horrible, and he's very hittable. If you're hittable versus Tai Tuivasa and you don't have the right kind of game plan and movement, you're going to be fucked. You're going to go to sleep. Tai Tuivasa almost knocked out Junior Dos Santos. He's rocked almost everybody he's fought. Yeah, I'm rolling with Ty on this one. Australia all the way. I can't roll with the Polar Bear. Sergey, if he gets him to the ground, if he can get him to the ground and keep Tai Tuivasa on the ground, which hopefully that's their game plan, because if he's standing and banging with him, he's going to get knocked out. Hopefully he has a smart coach and tells him to get him on the ground as fast as possible and keep him on the ground at least for like 2 rounds just to gas him out, and then maybe strike with him in the 3rd round. But yeah, don't go in there striking with this dude. Tai Tuivasa is going to win this one by knockout. Ali Quinta fighting out of New York versus Dan Hooker, the Hangman, fighting out of New Zealand. Ali Quinta, 14-5 record, 7 KO/TKOs, 1 sub loss, 6 decision wins, 3 sub losses. I mean, no, 1 sub win, 6 decision wins. He has 3 sub losses. I think I wrote that wrong. Oh well. He's durable, hits hard, not the best movement, a little flat-footed. He does cut the ring off really nice though. His last fight versus Donald Cerrone though, it just wasn't good. His cardio is pretty good as well. Ali Quinta, man, he's fought some great fighters. He's fought fucking Jorge Masvidal. Even though Masvidal should have won that fight, Ali Quinta showed a lot of heart. He shows heart in every fight. He never gives up, dude. This guy, he's a gritty fighter. He's got that old school style about him, like that I don't give a fuck style. I'll bang with anybody, and I like that about him. But he's fighting a dude, 18-8 record, the Hangman, Dan Hooker, 10 KO/TKO wins, 7 sub wins, 1 KO and 2 sub losses. He knocked out James Vick with ease, and I picked him to beat James Vick. James Vick leaves his chin out there every time, and he's just super tall. Like you can just catch that chin pretty easy. It wasn't an impressive win to me though. Like I said, Vic's he's got a glass jaw. Yeah, he's got a great skill set, but if you're not durable, then what does the skill set matter? Like, if you get knocked out, or your chin can't withstand a punch, or you can't roll off punches, or you can't fucking like, you don't have no head movement, you can't move out the way, you don't got that Floyd Mayweather defense, then it doesn't matter how good your skill set is. If you can't take a punch, or you can't move out of the way of punches, then it doesn't matter. So yeah, enough about that. He's only lost to durable and really good strikers, both Barboza, Jason Knight, Yair. This might be his toughest fight yet. I feel like the Barboza fight was his toughest fight, and we seen what happened to him on Barboza. Barboza was fucking him up with kicks, dude. I felt bad for Dan Hooker. I know he was limping and just not feeling good after that fight, because man, if you get kicked by Barboza, dude, you're gonna be pissing blood for a fucking week. Yeah, Dan Hooker though, man, Ali Quinta's got to watch out, because Ali Quinta, he ducks his head a lot. He bends his knees so much that he's really short when he fights, and Dan Hooker takes advantage of people that do that. If you do that against Dan Hooker, man, he's gonna catch you with a knee coming in. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Dan Hooker to I'm gonna roll with Dan Hooker to get the win on this one. And he's fighting out of New Zealand, man. He's going to get the win on this one. I'm rolling with him. But Ali Quinta, man, he's tough. And he's durable. He could get you some points on DraftKings if he doesn't get knocked out. Okay, main fucking event, man. Robert the Reaper Whittaker versus Israel Stylebender Adesanya. This is like, dude, this is a dream fight, bro. This is a dream fight. This is a real fucking fight. This is a fight I've been waiting for a long time, man. Whittaker's been one of my favorite fighters for a fucking while, dude. 20-4 record. And Israel Adesanya, I didn't know nothing about him until he got to the UFC. I had to look back and look at some of his old fights to like once he got into the UFC, I already knew he was going to be great, just by the way his style and how fluid his movement is. Israel Adesanya is the truth, man. I love his nickname, the Stylebender. Like, he blends shit together. He has the best style. I mean, he has one of the best and unique styles in the UFC, dude. Honestly, I love his style, dude. 17-0 record though, man. 13 KOs/TKOs, 0 subs. He did get knocked out by Alex Pereira by a left hook. So I mean, I'm pretty sure Robert Whittaker probably watched that tape, and it was a clean, just like, he had his hand up, but it just wasn't in the right position. The dude just found that perfect spot on the chin and knocked Israel Adesanya out. That was a while ago then, man. And his performance versus Kelvin Gastelum, it was a wonderful fight, man. It was one of the best fights I've ever seen in the UFC, because they're both dogs, man. They're both dogs. Neither of them wanted to give up. Neither of them even thought about giving up. They were, yeah. I mean, Israel Adesanya, he's the truth, dude. Every test that people keep putting in front of him, he passes it with flying colors, and everyone always has something negative to say about him. But there's nothing negative. There's nothing else negative you can say about him, other than that he talks a little bit of trash. But who doesn't? I mean, that's how he's selling the fight, yo. Like, he's selling the fight. Like, he's a humble dude. You can tell he's a humble dude. But yeah, I mean, he if he wants to talk trash, let him talk a little bit of trash, dude. That's just in the nature of fighting, you know. The Reaper, 20-4 record, 9 KO/TKO, 5 subs, 1 KO loss, 1 sub loss. And the Court McGee fight that he lost by split decision was bullshit. He shouldn't have lost that fight. He's on a 9-fight win streak. His last official loss was to Wonderboy Thompson. I like Wonderboy too. And it was just, I feel like he was just cutting too much weight, man. You cut that much weight and you don't have enough water in you, and it just kind of dehydrates your brain. Like, I feel like it's just really easier to get knocked out when you don't have that right amount of fluid, the right amount of nutrition, and just everything in your body. So yeah, that wasn't even on Whittaker. If it was on a different weight class, like the weight class he's in now, he would definitely give Wonderboy a run for his money. He'd probably beat Wonderboy now. But that was back then. He's learned a lot since then. Robert Whittaker's the truth. Australia versus Nigeria, but he's repping New Zealand. I like that. He reps both of them. I like Israel, man. I like Robert as well. This is gonna be a very interesting fight, dude. Excuse me. It's really hard for me to pick either one of these fighters because I like both of them so much, but I'm gonna roll with Whittaker. I feel like he's more well-rounded, and I do feel like he could get Israel Adesanya on the ground. I feel like he could definitely get Israel Adesanya on the ground. And if he does, it's gonna be tough for Adesanya. I feel like he can scoot to the cage. We've seen him do that and stuff. He can scoot to the cage and get back up, but how many times can you do that? Robert Whittaker's relentless, dude. We've seen it in the Yoel fights. We've seen it in all of his fights, dude. He's relentless. When he has a game plan, he sticks to it. And if that game plan doesn't work, he always has a backup game plan, dude. He's playing chess when he's in the when he's in that ring in the octagon with you, dude. He's playing chess, and so is Stylebender. That's why this fight is gonna be so unique, and just an outstanding fight, because both of these guys, their IQ, their fight IQ, even their overall IQ outside of the fight game, you can tell is high, man. It's high. Both of these guys are very smart individuals, and that's why they're in the positions they're in right now. But I'm rolling with Robert Whittaker on this one. I feel like he can get the job done, and I honestly feel like he can knock out Adesanya, and I feel like Adesanya could knock Whittaker out, man. We've seen Wonder Boy knock him out before, TKO'd him, and Adesanya is longer than Wonder Boy, so this is gonna be, it's gonna be crazy, dude. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, I'm just rambling on now. If you guys like my video, like it, subscribe, comment. Tell me who your guys' picks are and shit. Who your most confident picks are. I honestly don't know who my most confident picks are yet. These are just off the top of my head. I might do another short video, maybe the day of the fights, morning of the fights, just to see if anything changes, because sometimes I do change some of my picks just off of weigh-ins, how somebody looks. If they look depleted of energy or just dehydrated, they don't look right, they don't look like they really want to fight this weekend. Sometimes you see that kind of in people, in their whole demeanor, in their whole their face, everything. You see it, their body language. You see a lot of shit during the weigh-ins, and then sometimes it works against you, and you read it wrong. But yeah, the weigh-ins I usually don't do my picks until after the weigh-ins. But these are my official video picks. If I change any of them, I will go back on YouTube and make a quick video for you guys, and let you know who my most favorite underdog pick is, and then my most favorite pick is. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the fights. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, stay safe.